Hello. We've got about 45 folks in here. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for taking some time out of your day on this Wednesday for yet another, but maybe one of the last virtual events. My name is Kevin Planofsky. I'm on the AMA here, AMA Atlanta Innovation SIG. And I have the pleasure of welcoming you all, thanking you all for coming to spend some time with us this afternoon and kind of set up this event. So I'm going to take a few minutes to do that while some more people start to come in here. We're hoping to, have about 100 folks or so by the time it's hot and heavy, and we've got a really cool lineup. I'm with a company here in Atlanta called Vert Digital, one of the co-founders, and as I'd mentioned, I'm on the Innovation SIG with the AMA as partners and sponsors with the AMA. And we've been really excited to really focus on some future forward programming over the last couple of years. We've got a really exciting one today. And like I said, hopefully it'll be the last one or one of the last ones that's entirely virtual. I know that there's been a lot of people from my office coming in, and we're excited about that. But today, this is about some local innovation. And before we get started, I want to make sure we thank some of the other sponsors of the AMA. As you can see here, I mean, this is a trade organization, a local trade organization. We rely on the support of you guys, your time, your attention, your eyeballs, and certainly a lot of volunteers. I want to give a shout out to Nita, who's helped really bring this presentation together for everybody who's participating today. But you see some of the familiar faces up here, software providers, agencies, and brand marketers from the Atlanta area for the most part. Want to take a minute to thank all those folks, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do these really cool events. And I'm fortunate to count Vert among one of those. So today, we've got an event. This is a little bit of a brainchild of my own that with some good collaboration from the other members of the SIG, we were able to really pull together. This is not an easy one. This is kind of one part Shark Tank, one part American Idol. And we've got some really heavy hitters that I'm going to let our moderator introduce you to in a little bit here. But we're really going to want some participation from you guys first and foremost, and any sharing on social, on Twitter. Make sure you guys use @AMA Atlanta, as well as the hashtag AMAATL. So we want a lot of involvement here. This is, again, it's about local players. You can see some of the startups and upstarts that we're going to be hearing from today. And we've got a really dynamic. This is a really dynamic moderator, Ivana Ali, who I have not yet met in person, thanks to pandemics, but whose reputation has preceded her. I had the pleasure of meeting her just prior to coming on live here. Ivana is somebody who spent a large majority of the last several years in the Atlanta area with brands like Honey Baked Ham, Delta, Georgia Pacific, on things like omnichannel marketing, shopper marketing, e-commerce. But pretty excitingly, and this is something that's kind of special to me, I have two young daughters of color, each with 3B and 4B hair, who curly hair, who could really benefit. I need to get my hands on one of these and get these for Lucy and Millie. The involvement that you have with your daughter Zoe with beautiful curly me. So if you're not, I'm sure you're gonna have an opportunity to talk about it here, but if you guys aren't familiar with what Ivana's doing both here locally and with her family, please look into it. And with that, I'm gonna let her take the stage, intro both the judges as well as the startup providers who are gonna be presenting. So thank you guys again. Ivana, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kevin. Wow, I love that they have 3B and 4B hair. Like, he really knows his hair type. I love it. Hi, everybody. So excited to be here with you today. I hope you all are excited. We have a really great show planned for you. Some really great startups we're going to hear from. I'm really excited because, Atlanta is really cultivating the next generation of just amazing MarTech startups and just innovation, and where we're really leading the charge. And I'm really proud to be part of this city. And so, as Kevin said, yes, I have a business with my 9-year-old daughter, Zoe, and we are all about empowering our young girls to be confident in who they are. We have dolls, we have hair care accessories, and my Zoe has written a couple of books. So we're all about girl power. So reach out to me if you ever want to chat about getting into business with your child or just wanting to connect with us because we do a lot of social impact work and giving back. But enough about me. I want to talk about these amazing judges that we have that are going to be here today to really take a critical look at what the startups are going to talk about and give their opinions and help us pick a winner today. We're all winners, of course, but this is still a competition. So first up is Akil Anumolu. He is the general manager of digital at Delta Airlines. And Akil began a career in analytics at Symantec directly after graduation from college. He was a core architect behind the successful creation and growth of the global optimization analytics program for the consumer e-commerce site focused on the Norton antivirus brand. Following his dream to pursue a startup, he then was recruited as the first employee for children's toy startup Wonder Workshop, guiding their digital efforts from inception to a record-breaking crowdfunding campaign. I need to talk to Akil after this. Following his startup effort, Akil returned to Symantec to lead web development, analytics, and optimization for the global paid media program. In 2015, he joined Delta Airlines to manage the digital optimization and personalization teams. His role grew to include retail strategy and marketing technology, and has progressed to now oversee the digital technical products division for Delta.com and the Fly Delta app. Akil was awarded Digital Analytics Rising Star Award in 2016 by the Digital Analytics Association and is a graduate of the University of Georgia. I won't hold that against you, Akil, with a bachelor's degree in management information systems. He has been a speaker at such notable industry events as Adobe Summit and Silicon Beach at USC. And he's also been featured in Adweek. Everyone join me and say hello to Akil. Excited to have you here.
Hi, everyone.
Awesome. So next up is Jessica Lanier, VP of Marketing at Mannheim and Next Gear Capital, which is the same thing as Cox Automotive. So as Vice President of Marketing for both Mannheim and Next Gear Capital, Jessica is responsible for aligning the marketing objectives of both organizations with the overall business strategy of Cox Automotive. Jessica is a 22-year veteran of Cox Automotive, where she has guided teams across 5 different brands. Her passion for aligning the right tools and technology to optimize and take marketing to the next level led to her role as the executive sponsor for the Cox Automotive MarTech team. Most recently, she served as Associate Vice President of Marketing for Mannheim, where she created a new level of expertise within the team, restructuring it into a progressive marketing department proficient in digital strategies. Under her leadership, the team built a robust client journey mapping strategy and created both a dedicated product marketing team and a best-in-class channel and marketing technology team. All of these align with Mannheim's digital transformation and are focused on delivering industry-leading client experiences and business results. Always looking forward for ways to pay forward her career opportunities and experiences, Jessica is involved in several mentoring programs across Cox Automotive. Outside of work, you can find her on her Peloton, baking sourdough bread and spending time with her husband and her son. Jessica owns a Bachelor of Science from Florida State University's College of Business. FSU and UGA, what's going on? I'm a Gator fan, y'all. Hi, Jessica.
No. Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks, Jessica, welcome. All right, next up is Jason Jennings. He's the VP of Global Marketing Activation at Carter's. Jason joined Carter's in 2021 as VP Global Marketing Activation, and he's responsible for the company's first-party data and activation, personalization strategy, owned channels, and in-store visual design. Prior to joining Carter's, Jason spent 5 years at Amazon's Fabric division, where he was most recently the acting CMO and head of marketing and loyalty. Before joining Amazon, he served on the CRM team at Verizon Wireless and was responsible for the company's personalization strategy. Prior to joining Verizon, he spent almost 10 years on the agency side. A lifelong avid baseball fan, go Braves, Jason is always also passionate about home automation. What started as a desire to have dimmable lights in his home turned into learning both electrical wiring and coding throughout his journey. Wow, that's very cool. He lives in the Upper West Side of Atlanta with his wife, 2 daughters, and their golden doodle. Everyone say welcome to Jason. Hey, Jason.
Hi, everybody. Nice to be here.
Awesome. Well, this is exciting. We have some heavy hitters, as you all have heard. And so without further ado, we're actually going to jump right into it. So If everyone is ready, say ready, ready, ready in the chat. If you all can write in the chat, say you're ready. And we're about to get started here. I'm gonna introduce our very first startup. Okay, so we're starting off with Lavender. So I don't know how many of you know Lavender, but you'll find out more today if you don't. So here to present for Lavender is Will Allred. He's the co-founder and COO. So Lavender is your AI email assistant. It combines everything you need to easily write emails that get replies, get real-time AI-driven coaching on your email, research your prospect without leaving your inbox, confirm their email is valid, check if your email will land in spam, see how it looks on mobile, and much more. Is that enough of a teaser for y'all? That sounds really exciting. I can't wait to hear more. So the way the format is gonna work is each startup will have 5 minutes to do their pitch. And once 5 minutes is over, we will mute you. So don't let us mute you. I will try to jump in at maybe 10 seconds prior and just tell you 10 seconds left. But we want everyone to keep to 5 minutes so that we can kind of get through it. And then we'll have 3 minutes for the judges to ask questions. And then we'll move on to the next startup. So Lavender, Will, are you ready? You want to go ahead and share your screen?
Yeah, sure.
Do that now. Perfect. No pressure.
No pressure.
Okay, so we can see your screen. As soon as you get your presentation up, we'll start your time.
Yep. My presentation actually just is my inbox. So if you can see it, I'm ready.
Oh, perfect. All right, your time starts now. Let's go.
Fantastic. So I appreciate that intro. I think a good way to start this is to talk about cold email. So an obvious rhetorical question would be, when was the last time you were excited to receive a cold email? I think all of you would say you're not, but the reality is that most B2B businesses today operate on a model where sales development reps or SDRs have to send a certain number of emails in order to get a certain number of replies, in order to set a certain number of demos so that business can go on as usual. The problem is the way that system is set up, the SDR, the sales development rep, is incentivized to send a lot of emails. And so it's not that you don't like getting cold emails, it's that you don't like getting cold emails that are written poorly. And when you think about poorly written cold emails, they're emails that are very long, they're emails that are not personalized to you, they're emails that are too complex. You kind of skim over them and you don't enjoy reading them. So when we built Lavender, what we wanted to do was build something in the inbox that made the sales development rep's life much easier, but at the same time made your experience as the buyer on the other end that much better because you were getting a better email. And so, to give you a sense of what Lavender is and can do, Lavender is, it's a full Swiss Army knife for everything that you need to write better email. That's personal information on the individual that you're reaching out to. It's a writing assistant that will help make sure that you're optimized for a strong email that's going to get a positive response. And all of these things are delivered via productivity tools so that you don't have to slow down in your day-to-day. And so I've got my inbox open because I thought it'd be kind of fun to just show you exactly how it works and where it lives. So a great place to start would just be with recipient insights. So I'll put in my own email address, will.allred@trylavender.com. First thing we do is we run a deliverability report to make sure it's a valid email. And then we'll give you a prompt like research your recipient. So if you're a sales development rep, this will encourage you to go check out information on the individual that you're reaching out to. So you can see here, it's got a little bit about me. It's got my social information. You can see here, you can see this picture in my inbox as I pitched Lavender at the AMA. I posted that on my Twitter about an hour ago. But these can be very helpful prompts as you're trying to personalize a message, as you're trying to reach out to an individual. And so we can pull up information on the company that person works for, technology tools that that company uses. So say you're say you're working for an email service provider and you see that we're using MailChimp, a great Atlanta company. You might say, hey, Will, I saw you using MailChimp. How are you enjoying using it? MailChimp's great for the following things, but we can help do some other things that might be really relevant for your business. You can also see company socials, really just good things to help you personalize that message. You mentioned, Ivana, at the beginning that we're going to show a bit more. And so I actually wanted to show the other side to Lavender that we've been working on. So, the content of the email is super important. And so I wanted to show you guys just an experimental feature that we've been playing with, where we can actually use our technology on the back end to write an email for you. So let's say I'm writing an email to the AMA. I want my assistant to explain why Lavender matters. Let's do explain what Lavender is and invite the AMA to try our experimental features, our labs program.
Well, you have about 20 seconds left.
Great. So I will generate the email. You'll see here, we can write an email for sales development rep on the fly. Looks pretty good, right? The writing assistant sort of sits here on the side. We can showcase the likelihood that it's going to get a response. We'll show you exactly how to improve the level of response. So something like writing a new subject line would increase the likelihood that somebody's going to open it. The other thing that we could do is make recommendations on particular.
Well, we're up on time. I didn't mean to cut you off like that, but it would have been better than muting you, right?
Okay.
This was great. I think I sat here and I said, wow, it actually spelled out the whole email. That's amazing. So thank you so much for that. Would love to hear a couple of questions from the judges now. Who's ready to ask a quick question? Please jump in. Akil, Jessica, or Jason.
Sure, I'm happy to start.
Yep.
Will, thank you for the presentation there. Got two questions for you, actually. One is kind of prior to this was going through Lavender and kind of doing some more research on them. I noticed a lot of your social accounts denoted the company is based in New York. Are y'all based in New York or based in Atlanta?
It's a great question. The team's actually mostly remote. We started in Atlanta. I'm based out of Atlanta. I'm actually calling in from Blue Ridge, Georgia right now.
Gotcha. Appreciate that insight. And then the second question here was, as we think about kind of scale and the longer term roadmap and objectives here of Lavender, what's preventing a major CRM or email provider from getting into this space? What is your secret sauce that differentiates you?
Yeah, and I would just say it's our laser focus on the inbox. So if you're a major CRM provider, there's many things that you're working on and trying to build. We're laser focused on not just sending emails. We're focused on the quality and the writing of those emails, and that's our pinpoint focus. So like next month, we're launching an entire coaching dashboard focused around what works specifically for your writing and what gets you specifically replies. And then say, your manager could see that across the entire team and provide coaching associated with each individual's inbox.
Great,
So,
thank you, Will.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we have about 1 minute left for questions. So Jason or Jessica, who wants to take?
I have a question. I have two questions for you. Well, first of all,
Will, you
great
can start
job.
sharing now.
Thank you.
Great job presenting. And so the first is, what does it take to implement this within an organization?
Yeah, so it's we're a product-led growth organization. So you, Jessica, as an individual, could sign up today for a week free trial, and if you like it, you can tell your boss about it, and he could sign up the entire team, or she could sign up the whole team. So it's really easy. From a security and privacy perspective, we're not storing any information on the back end. We're actually got some clever ways that we're able to sort of see the response as you see it. And so we can get smarter without having to encroach on any sort of data privacy or store things that we don't necessarily want to see. So it's really easy for us to just sort of land and expand.
And then one other question I have is, from a quantitative, like if you're selling this into an organization and I'm comparing tools, what numbers am I going to see? Like what's the difference that you're going to make in the business for me to choose Lavender?
Yeah, so there's two that I really focus on, and it's the amount of time it takes you to like write and send an email. And so right now you have zero insight on how long it took an individual sales rep to write an email. And so like the amount of effort that you spent per account, et cetera, like it's kind of a blind spot. And you'll see in the top right here, we've got that writing timer that actually shows you as the writer, you know, hey, I'm spending too much time per email. But at the same time, the manager now has visibility into how much time is being spent per email, per account, et cetera. The other is reply rate. And so on average, people using our platform get twice the amount of response, and not just like any response, it's positive reply. So those would be like the two things. The other metric I didn't mention was on average, people spend 30% less time using in their inbox using our platform.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Will. That was great. I don't know about y'all, but email is not dead and we all need a little help with our email. So I really love this solution. Thank you so much, Will.
Yeah.
All right, you all, we are headed to the next startup. You all excited? Who's ready? Put ready in the chat while I read their bio. So InBrain.ai is going to be presented by Ariel Bishop. It's a people-based insights and monetization platform connecting and rewarding real people to surveys designed for them in real time. So this is all about faster insights for us to make faster, better business decisions. So I'm super excited to introduce Ariel. Ariel, come on up and share your screen, please, and let us get started. Yeah, drop your comments in the chat if you were interested or hear anything that was really cool, something you would be considering for your organization. So Ariel, you'll have 5 minutes, and it will start when you're ready. You ready?
Sure. I just want to make sure. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can.
And you see the correct screen, not the notes screen. I don't want to bog anyone down.
No, we see InBrain.ai, just your cover slide. So take it away. Your time starts now.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. Hello, everybody. I am Ariel. I lead up strategy and research here at InBrain. We are a company that is rooted in market research, which I know is generally the most boring part of the marketing and advertising industry. But the good news here is we've found a way to gamify the experience for all the people involved. So we started out building and scaling apps as a B2C company, which really led us to better understand people and how they engage on mobile. We currently have over 5 million registered members, and that's before factoring any partnerships. And we're consistently delivering millions of survey completes each month. So what do we actually do? We partner with apps around the world to deliver their audience targeted surveys in exchange for app currency. So to break that down more is everyone on this call, think about any of the apps you have on your phone right now, and think of if you've needed more lives to get to the next level in the game, or you want to earn more points to get a gift card. Did you want to either pay for it, watch a video, or take a survey? Chances are, if you took a survey, you probably have already interacted with us. So everyone likes a video, so I thought I'd put one into this presentation so I'm not just talking at you the entire time. But this video that you're looking at now is what your customers would see. And then this screen is showing you how we allow an app to actually control and customize this experience. We want to make it as native as possible. As you'll start to see, we've really gamified the experience to allow how a user gets to engage in how they take surveys and what they're seeing every day. We own and operate our own apps, so we're able to test these formats every day to make sure that people are truly enjoying surveys. But the most important thing here is we treat your customers right. So we have a guaranteed reward system for all participation so that no one feels their time is wasted. Meaning if one of your customers starts to take a survey and they get screened out, they are still rewarded for their time spent. And what that means is that's really how we facilitate millions of survey completes every month. When it comes to your marketing dollars, We understand that you don't always have the information you need to make the decisions, specifically when you're moving down that brand funnel. Market research is still the #1 way to get this information. When I say research, I don't mean in-person interviews, which are super time consuming and they can get really expensive, or phone interviews, because let's be honest, how many of you have ever picked up the phone when you see an unknown number? Or even email surveys, which tend to be a bit skewed because that's due to the paid panelist audience. Traditional research really tends to lead to poor quality insights. So what I'm talking about here is agile research, the ability to connect to millions of your customers and target customers in real time in an engaging way. Our proprietary technology has really accelerated market research to truly connect brands to the people in real time. So back to how does this relate to your actual marketing budgets? This provides you with faster insights for informed business decisions. Brand trackers and brand lift studies are super helpful when you're trying to understand who saw your ads, where they clicked on them, where they came from. But being able to actually talk to a user in real time, in your own words, is much more effective, not to mention time and cost effective. So often when I'm talking to brands in this space, they don't always understand how big the market research market is. So just for some insight, global revenue hit $47 billion just 3 years ago. North America generated 45% of that. To give you some more color into that, on how brands have adopted into the space, we have a rolling inventory of 30,000 survey projects looking for millions of people every single day. Programmatic connections have bridged the gap between the need to rely on those traditional research tactics and the ability to access millions of people anywhere at any time. You now have the control over speed and delivery for the first time ever. The ad tech industry may have pioneered the process of buying and selling ads faster than ever, but InBrain has gone a step further, and we've turned those ad units used for awareness into platforms to deliver people-powered insights. As a brand, I see more value in the latter. So with a properly designed survey, you can see and you can learn about your target customers' brand awareness, usage, attitudes, perceptions, and you can also dig deep into purchase intent with individual customers. Wink, wink to those of you in e-commerce. So I know I'm right up at time. I wanted to make sure I got through all of that. I talked a lot. Hit me with your questions.
Wow, you saved 18 seconds. Great job.
I tried. I really tried.
Great job, Ariel.
So I know I spoke fast.
Fascinating. I love this. I mean, oh my goodness. Yeah, this is great. So let's kick it over to our judges to ask questions. I know you all, this is really interesting. So Jason, you want to kick us off with questions?
Yeah, I've got a question. So, so as a brand, would I be executing this through the Carter's brand, or would I be executing this through your brand?
So it would be through our survey technology, but you would be asking the question. So you could do it, you could identify yourself or anything. So you would probably be asking questions based on, you know, maybe a new bundle that you have on sale, having someone choose, do you want this one or this one? Do you have children at home at this age or not? It's really for the insights for you. So branding's not really part of this whole process. Our goal is just to connect you to all of these people.
Got it. And would I have any way to tie back to first party data? Like, i.e., would I know who those individuals were and I could match them back to my customer file?
Right now, we wouldn't be doing that just because of GDPR. We would have to figure out the best way to do that and the safest way to do that for both your brand and the users. But we could certainly figure out different ways to do recontact if that's something you'd be interested in.
Cool.
Awesome. So we have about 1 more minute left for questions. Akil,
Yeah.
so you're coming up on screen.
Yeah, one question, Ariel. Thank you for the presentation. Kind of playing off Jason's question, is this an integration of an SDK within our brand's apps, or is it driving into your separate app? And sorry if I missed that during the presentation.
Nope. I rushed through a bunch of it just to make sure I hit home on the insights part of it for you guys. So the integration for a brand and how you would use us, you would just you would sign up and have a regular account into our dashboard, and you can either input surveys you already have just with redirects, or you can create a survey from scratch using our builder. In terms of integration with the apps, like the publisher partners, any of the games and the offer walls, we have SDK and API integrations with them. Did that answer your question?
That helps. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ariel. Great job. Thanks so much for sharing. I think
Thank
we're
you.
all definitely getting a lot. All these hidden gems in our backyard, right? This is amazing. Great job, guys. All right, moving on, we have Mariah Grove, marketing manager at Offbeat Media Group. Now we're going into the social space, y'all. So it's Offbeat Media Group influences a global Gen Z audience of 1 billion plus followers across social through new and innovative media such as memes, TikTok trends, original shows, virtual influencers, and AR lenses. They work with brands and agencies to develop strategies and campaigns that ignite action. And they are able to bring full funnel social strategies to market for their clients. So I see Shep is here too. So Mariah and Shep, go ahead and share your screen, and you have 5 minutes once we see your screen.
Awesome. Thanks so much for the introduction. We're gonna jump right in here. I think everyone can see our screen. Is that right, Ivana?
Yes, go ahead. Again.
Okay, cool. Well, like Ivana said, I'm Shep, CEO of Offbeat Media Group, and Mariah heads up marketing here. We're gonna jump straight in.
So we're going to go over really quickly who we are, give you a top level view, tell you why we're unique, show you a couple of case studies, and then let you know exactly how you can partner with us. So who are we? We're a leading digital influence and media company who engages tens of millions of Gen Zers and early millennials each day. What does that mean? We are the full funnel social partner that creates innovative media on social media that demands to be engaged with. We create media properties, we generate fandom, and we do all of this while distributing on our over a 1 billion follower global social network.
Yeah, and so backing up a little bit, now I want to talk about what we're seeing at a macro level. And so it's really like, because we're targeting Gen Z, what we realize though is like Gen Z is more of a cultural movement where people now are really, or Gen Z especially, are starting to not think about the lives from a physical standpoint and cultivate the lives from a physical standpoint, but from a digital standpoint. Right? Like people are more focused about what their Instagram looks like than what their actual clothes that they're wearing in person. And we're seeing that go not just from Gen Z, but to all generations. And that's really the people that we're building this for. The people that we're building this for is the digital native.
And we want you to take away 3 key pillars of our understanding and our knowledge. We eat, breathe, and sleep Generation Z, their culture, their strategy, the trends. We are on top of the trends before they're even trending. So we keep the brands that we work with super relevant. We keep our own properties super relevant as well with this generation and this cultural movement. How do we do this? We do it through innovative social first media, whether that is a meme marketing campaign, whether that is TikTok trend ideation, influencer marketing, or if it's through virtual humans. We cut through the oversaturated market by creating that media that is so highly engaging, you stop on your feed and make sure that you look at it. And we get it on your feed through our unparalleled social distribution network. Like we talked about before, we own pages for the distribution, but we also have partner pages that total over 1 billion followers. We do this for clients all over the world. These clients sit at the intersection of culture, lifestyle, and entertainment, and they come to us when they want to stay relevant. We push them in front of the people that they want to be seen by. We make sure that those people stop and engage with their content on social media.
Yeah, so we don't want to go through all like the different ways that we do all this today because we only have 5 minutes. But I think this is a really cool example. Imagine Sally, Sally's sitting on the brand side. She's the director of marketing and she wants to do something really innovative on social. Right now, she has 2 choices, right? She has like the media company side and like the social agency sides. And we think about like Vice is a good example for a media company and Vayner is like a good example for a social agency. And lots of the times, Vayner is going to kind of contract out to Vice anyway. We're sitting here at the middle where we're both creating our own innovative social content, reaching millions of people every single week. But then we're also developing the full funnel strategies to help brands do it too. So those are really the problems that we're solving as we get to be both. A couple of case studies of showing you like how we've done that and who we do it for. And in addition to earlier, TikTok's a really, really strong example. They've been a client of ours since they left China and came, started going after the Western markets. And we started doing most of their social media buying, reaching memes, reaching influencers, et cetera, across Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat for the last 2.5 years. We do this in about 12 different countries at a really large scale. Just last year, we pushed almost 4 billion impressions. Over the last 2.5 years, we pushed almost 6 billion impressions across about 70,000 influencer posts. This is how we're keeping them at the forefront of, Gen Z, making sure everyone knows that this is where, culture is happening. This is where viral videos can be found, because we're showing it on Instagram and we're saying, hey, you need to go to TikTok and watch more of this. And that's how we, help them do that for the last few years. Excuse me, what? This is a brand that we actually launched in-house. It was one of our first social shows of original content. We launched about 13 months ago. We now get more than 10 million people watching our content every single month. It has 600,000 followers, and we've done a little over 44 videos in the last little over a year at this point. The main point here is it shows that we understand, we use our network not just for brands, but we're constantly testing and seeing what is working across social, even to create our own type of content. And lastly, we just showed you an example of how we create content, but then also how we look at strategy and how we can get something out there. And so that's what a typical partnership looks like. We back up and we say, what does this brand, who are they trying to reach and what are they trying to do? We develop a full funnel social strategy for them. We come up with really creative concepts, like Mariah said, that's going to cut through and actually get seen on a feed. And then we build out the perfect media plan so that we actually target and drive results in the end. Every campaign is bespoke and different. The best is the typical partnership.
Awesome. Great job.
Thanks so
Great
much.
job, Shep and Maria. That was awesome. I love it. You guys are killing it. Social. So I mean, we all need this stuff. So Shep, I'm gonna call you again. All right. I'm gonna kick it off to our judges. Jessica, you want to go first? Questions or Jason? Go ahead, Jessica.
Yeah, I guess I would. Lots of good numbers in there. Good job, first of all. Really interesting. I'm not a Gen Zer, so you're definitely not talking to me. But wondering, as you're thinking, as you're selling this in, you're selling it from a holistically, this is what I've done, right? But how do you sell this into a marketing organization and help them understand what you'll do for them? Does that make sense?
Yeah, typically people are coming to us with briefs. For example, we got hit up by one of the major media agencies a couple of weeks ago, and they said, hey, we have a really large QSR activation coming up, and we want to make sure it's relevant at Gen Z. And they said, we're thinking possibly memes, we're thinking TikTok, we're thinking Snapchat. What do you guys recommend? And then we came in and said, cool, let's build out a song on TikTok and let's build out trends. We know the right influencers to partner with, and let's get this moving on TikTok. That's kind of step one. Step two is going to be, cool, let's move this over to these other social platforms, make sure it's talked about, and then let's back it up with a stronger media plan. So we'll take the content that we're creating on TikTok, we'll take the song, et cetera, and then we'll make sure that it hits the right people, with a partnership that we have with TikTok, on more of the paid media side. Does that make sense?
It does. I have one other question if Jason and Akil don't. Jason, you got a question?
Okay,
okay, one other question. So obviously social channels constantly evolving, right? The future and longevity of TikTok, possibly, when does that end? What are you guys doing to plan for the next space of social?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so we've been through that already quite a few times in iterations over the last 8 years. Offbeat's a 3-year-old company, but my partner and I started about 8 years ago in the space where Twitter was a big thing. So we're constantly seeing, what are the new platforms? We're always building our own brands. We're moving the audiences we have over to these new platforms, and we're having people dedicated to each platform to see what are the crooks of it, what are the trends happening on it, who are the biggest players on it, and how can we integrate culturally without, the network of this app. So it's always moving, I guess, is the way to answer that.
Great, thank you.
awesome. That's great. So if anyone has a Gen Z audience, potential audience, Offbeat is your team. Jason, did you have a quick question? You have 30 seconds. You can slide it in.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, so what does a typical media investment spend look like for a POC?
Yeah, so we're typically looking at starting at around $30K for an activation, and they go anywhere from 30 to $500,000 typically, depending on the media plan.
Perfect. Thanks. Nice job.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. All right. Our last startup of today is, last but not the least, CallRail. Madeline, Wing, Director of Partnerships, is going to be presenting today. So CallRail is a marketing platform for businesses that rely on quality phone calls, leads, and new customers to grow and succeed Their software gives customers visibility into their marketing efforts so they know what's working and what isn't. All right, Madeline, you want to go ahead and share your screen?
Absolutely.
All right.
All right. So CallRail is a business communications and marketing analytics platform for small to mid-sized businesses. We currently work with over 180,000 businesses in North America, things like healthcare, legal services, home services, real estate, automotive, all heavy industries that rely a ton on inbound phone calls. And why inbound phone calls? So over the last 10 years, with the rise of smartphones, consumers have, search directly in their hand, but it's tied to a phone. So as they're searching, the vast majority would like to actually talk with your business on the phone. They don't want to wait for you to get back to them, email, form, chat. They want to get things done ASAP. And actually throughout the pandemic, we've seen that consumer preference to phone calls rise even further. They don't want to get in their car and go someplace if they don't have to. They can just get it done over the phone. That's their preference. So we want to help these businesses that rely on inbound phone calls. We want to arm them with as much data as possible. Things like what marketing sources are driving these phone calls, what are people asking about on the phone, and how are your sales reps or receptionists actually dealing with these phone calls. And when they're armed with all of that data, they can actually put together the best customer experience and really get the most out of every bang for their buck that they're spending on marketing. So our suite of products helps them do all that. How does this work? So the way CallRail works is you first install one line of code on your website. We know that small businesses are strapped for resources, so we want to make this as simple and seamless as possible. It honestly takes less than 5 minutes to install. Once you install the code, you provision some phone numbers from us and a group of numbers. So I would say all in all, you can get ready to go and implement it less than 10 minutes. Once you have that group of phone numbers and the line of code on the site, whenever a prospect is visiting your website, we serve them up a unique number. We follow them through their entire web session until they pick up the phone and call. We then forward that call to your main business line, call center, cell phone, wherever you want it to go. And we marry that phone call conversation with all the web data, so you're armed with everything you need to make smarter decisions for your business. So what you're looking at here is a great example of a lead inside of CallRail. You can see they actually searched for plumbing services on Google. They made that call from the mobile ad extension. We can see the entire conversation here. They were asking, their local plumbing business. They needed some help repairing their AC. Actually, it was leaking. But the big call out to me, you can see with our natural language processing that we actually tagged this as a long hold time. This could have been a lost lead really quickly. It looks like they had them on hold for 7 minutes. So that's probably something they want to go back in and improve with their salespeople to make sure that doesn't keep happening. We can also view all of these phone calls in aggregate. So this is great if I'm the marketing person here to say, hey, we're spending thousands of dollars a month on Facebook, but I'm not driving any phone calls, which is our most valuable leads. I probably want to reinvest that money into Google and direct mail campaigns where I am seeing really good results. And then lastly, we also help these businesses with the follow-up of these leads. So this is actually an inbound form lead. I can see they came to the CallRail website from a Google organic search. They ultimately converted on a page about our Google Ads integration. So I want to make sure that when my sales team calls them back, that's what they're talking about. And they're armed here with the ability to text this lead. They can call this lead straight away, quick follow-up, which we know is super, super important these days. And they're able to tailor the conversation to what works and what makes sense. Lastly, we have over 700 marketing integrations. We integrate with all of the major ad players, so Google, Microsoft Ads, Facebook. We can track any marketing source and push that data back in there. So if you're using any bid management tools or any, for example, the Google Smart Bidding, we're giving your best conversions right in there. So you can kind of view all of your conversions in one place and appropriately fix your marketing that way. We also integrate with CRMs and marketing automations tools. So kind of going back to some of that first party data, we're pushing all of that in there. So if you want to push all the call recordings into, say, your HubSpot instance, you can tailor and create email campaigns based on where these callers came from and what they actually asked about on the phone. So that's all I got.
Awesome. How awesome is that? Oh my goodness. Like everything we need is here, y'all. We have got the email, we got the marketing insights, we got social media domination. Now we have lead gen with phone calls. Like, this is great. So gonna kick it off to the judges. We have 3 minutes for questions. Who wants to get us started? Akil, did you have a question?
Sure, I'll get started. Madeline, thank you for the presentation. I will say call centers are a big piece of my work, along with the integration into our digital spaces. So you talked about obviously being able to insert a line of code, pick up this information, and being able to push it out to these marketing tools. Do you also provide integrations backwards for Google Analytics, Adobe Analytics, or CRMs to push information into CallRail? That way, major companies don't have to switch completely over or have data silos in different places.
So we actually do not need to integrate directly with Adobe or Google to push the data into CallRail. We actually capture all of that same information with our line of code, but I definitely understand the data silo. So the ultimate goal here is that CallRail would actually have all of that same campaign, search keyword information, everything. We're storing and capturing all of that with our code the same way you are in Adobe. So no difference there.
Great, thank you.
Hey, Madeline, awesome presentation. Are there any API integrations that you have going into customer data platforms?
So we do not currently, but we do have a fully open API and it's free for any CallRail customer. So we have a lot of customers that have kind of taken that and done their own development in-house to get what data they need wherever they need it.
Awesome, thank you.
Any last questions? Jessica, anything from you?
I guess I would ask so phone call, what's the next step for CallRail?
Yeah, absolutely. So we recently launched the ability to, I kind of showed that screenshot, track form submissions. And we also now are tracking chat as well. So our future vision is to be all of those inbound leads in one place. And we're going to store all the marketing, all the conversation data, and also give your customer facing teams the ability to have all of those conversations in one place.
Awesome. Great job. Thank you.
I love it. I'm calling everybody. I need it. I need all the help. All right. So the judges are going to go off now to deliberate, and I'll just let you all know what they're judging our startups on today. So these are the criteria. So is the problem that the product or solution solves, was it able to be articulated in 5 minutes? Do they feel that the company is built to scale properly within the market? Is the product or solution set up to deliver in a reasonable amount of time? Is it priced fairly? How quickly can they articulate what they're solving for the audience? And is this, just a general sort of like, are they positive and a great company that would be a potential good partner for clients? So that's what they're going to be judging on. So they're going to head off for about 5 minutes now. We're kind of running on time here. So I beg you all for your patience. So the judges are going to leave and we're going to run a couple of polls to hear what you all think in the audience. I think this has been great. So we're going to launch the poll now. So here you go. What do you all think? So do a quick poll selection here, guys, and let's see what you all think. See, I can't vote. That's not right. Well, Kevin, where are you?
I'm not allowed to either. I got shut down. I was going to vote and it gave me a no-go.
Come on, I have opinions.
I think the goal here, at least when we were thinking about it, was, which ones of these could really scale? Which ones of these could really translate to you know, a larger enterprise like a Carter's or like the work you did with Honey Baked Ham or Delta or Georgia Pacific. So as you're answering some of these poll questions, be thinking of that, maybe not necessarily the one that had the, you know, obviously presentations are critical. You got to be able to get your product message down, but what has real legs, you know?
Exactly. What can you see yourself implementing in your organization? Like I could totally, like you just said, Kevin, Honey Bake was huge for call centers. We had like an aging customer base and we relied heavily on phone calls for better or worse.
Well, I think the interesting thing with all of these and the judges, we can talk about them since they're not in here now.
Yes.
No, they were, everyone had some pretty specific privacy questions, data
Yes.
affordability questions.
Integrations.
Yeah, where's the data coming from, and then where can it go from there? So that's clearly something that, you know, is that all of them are going to have to deal with.
Right. And I always think about how, I think Akil might have asked that question, just the whole, because right now everything's a lot of things are in silos. So how do you get that one true melting pot of all your insights and information to really make an informed decision about how you want to approach a particular customer or, you know, customers. So I think that ability to pull in from different places, be it through integrations or be it through just, you know, being able to kind of, I guess it is integrations into your systems or third-party systems. Yep.
Yeah, and this is maybe a good time also while we're waiting for them to come back, and as you're finishing up the you know, the attendee input polls, go ahead and scroll back through the chat. All of their social tags were layered into the chat here, so feel free to go give shout outs on Twitter or LinkedIn or anywhere else. Some of the, like Will put his LinkedIn in here, so you know, I know, again, these are all folks in the backyard here, in some way, shape, or form, meaningfully being built here in Atlanta. So that was the whole goal: uplift some.
Let's support our own.
Yeah, and hopefully, you know, learn something new. It's hard when you're getting started, regardless of how buttoned up or not the product is, just to find people who can help that mission.
Right, and the more customers they get, the more they can improve, the more they can iterate, and so I'm excited to hear that potential new partnerships come out of today's event. Okay, I think our poll is ending. Go ahead. Sorry.
Are they coming in? No, I was going to ask you if we still have a couple minutes. Was there ever one at some of your past gigs that, like, a piece of software or a startup that you found and made a bet on?
Oh my goodness, put me on the spot. I can't.
I know. Sorry.
No, you're fine. So it's interesting. So Gooder, I would say, is one where, like a Honey Bake, a lot of you know, food waste from the restaurants.
I know Gooder. Yeah.
Yes. So they have a really innovative solution where they kind of take that problem off your hands, and then they do good in the community, and they also help you because you get energy credits and tax credits, and that's a company that I found and introduced to the brand. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of great startups in Atlanta, I would say.
Yeah, it's just a matter of finding them. I really love that mission of Gooder. That's really cool. We're able to usher that in.
Yes. Okay, so poll results are coming up, it looks like. Okay, wow, this is a pretty even split. Okay, y'all don't think Offbeat Media is easy to implement? They're doing all the work for you. Write them a check. Okay, interesting.
You know, and maybe that's an insight for obviously how do we articulate that ability to work easily with us.
Exactly.
Since some of these others.
And I just know this because I know Shep and the team. So yeah, it's pretty easy to implement, I would say, for you all just on the fence there. ROI, okay.
CallRail coming out with the top, kind of not surprising, really well. You know, a bit of a head start, more of an upstart than a startup these days. So kind of not surprised to see that. Yeah.
Right. I think with the Lavender being a little bit lower, you have to think about time savings, guys. The time spent, like, you know, the opportunity cost of all the time you spend on planning emails and things like that. I think that's where you could, it might not be a one-to-one ROI, but I think that's where you sort of see the benefits, right?
I think if you ask most effective for personal ROI, Lavender would take the cake because time is the only thing we don't have enough of these days. But as enterprise marketers, you always got to show, okay, I invested $1 here. How did I turn it into $5?
Come down to the bottom line. Exactly. And that's where it's tough. Most cost efficient. Okay. And the people's choice. What's the people's choice? It's a tie. in brain and offbeat. All right.
Very interesting. I mean, it's all across the board here. So
Right.
I think the judges, though, have their own choice coming up here soon, if not. But thank you guys for participating in the polls. It's interesting to see.
Yes. This is great. Awesome. So I think our judges will be back shortly. Let us know in the comments how you enjoyed the event, or what you would like to see for next time. I see they're back. Okay. We're waiting for the winner. Who's ready to hear the announcement? Okay, so Jessica is going to do the honors of telling us who they picked. Great job to all the startups again, and you all. This was great. All right, Jessica, you are up. She back? I can't wait. I can't wait to see who wins. Okay, Jessica's not back yet, so we'll give her a second. Or Jason, do you have the honors? You have the honors of announcing the winner.
All right, so we are very happy to announce that we picked InBrain.
Woo! Congratulations, Ariel and team. That's awesome.
Very much congratulations. We thought that the presentation was very well rounded. We can absolutely understand sort of the differentiator of the product relative to the market. We thought that we were able to understand how we could utilize it inside our businesses today. And we thought that you gave a very well-rounded approach.
Thank you so much. I know that I'm probably not supposed to talk, but everyone did a really great job today. But thank you to the judges, and I hope there's an opportunity to work together at some point.
Absolutely, and I will also say that it was an incredibly close competition. We thought that all four of the startups did an amazing job, and so this is by no means to say that we couldn't understand how we could utilize the other products and services that you guys have. We absolutely can, but the AMA is making us pick one, so I blame them for having to choose.
Put the blame on us. Yes.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much on behalf of the AMA organization. An immense thanks to Ivana, Jason, Akil, Jessica for taking your time. Certainly, all of the startups for taking some time and presenting those materials and kind of playing our little Shark Tank American Idol game here. Hopefully, we'll do more of these. And like I said, hope to see everyone's faces. At one point we had about 60, 70 folks in here. I personally am really excited. I think don't be surprised if some of the next AMA events are not at least hybrid events. And to that end, again, go follow. There will be a follow-up email poll about this event. So we want to get input from you guys. Did you like this format? Do you want to be in person? Do you prefer virtual? But otherwise, thank you all for your time. And we're right on time. We'll even give you a minute back. Thanks for spending your lunch hour with us. Everybody have a great rest of your week. See you next time.